In this short video, we are going to be presenting the features of carousels on the theme of human homunculus. This video essentially is to induce other users to do their own personal exploration. Here, if we click on a screen, it will increase in size to facilitate reading. But the purpose is visual rather than reading. So the main goals are that words and images express notions, express ideas. And this approach helps to learn a new language, a new significance of words, terminology, and so on, as effortlessly as possible. Therefore, it is a tool to learn medical terminology with an emphasis not only on medicine, but on biology in general. I am Wertileki speaking to you, and if you are interested, you can get in touch with me by writing to the following emails. So next. And in the next screen, we're going to click to see what the theme of this video is. Humus, the fertile element of soil. Humans arose from the soil. And again, we have the word humus to double the implication. And why is it in English that we call the fertile soil dirt? I never could understand that. And here we are talking about the fundamental nature and the emblems and symbols of humanity. And what are the fundamental characteristics that distinguish humanity from beasts, which is another derogatory way of referring to nature? It is that physicians and very few other animals like primates and even our friends that are canines or dogs can seek healing. But humans are probably the only ones that seek burial. We bury, we save our deceased. We don't let them rot in the open. Another characteristic is that our human species achieved speech. And only some of us went on to achieve some logic. And unfortunately, not all humans develop a sense of ethics. And these sentiments of speech, logic, and ethics are manifested by fear and tenderness, beauty and poetry and music, and emblems such as Apollo, Venus, Psyche, Eros, Hypnos, and others like Thanatos, which mean related to death. And of course, the literature, what Aristotle taught us, and so forth and so forth. So the spectrum of human is very vast. Next. But here is an image. It conveys a notion. And if we click on it, you could see its ancient characteristics. And arts always has been a component of the early manifestations of the human spirit. In this case, presumably, the obesity was a signal of prosperity and ability to have children and raise them. Let's click on this and see. We can explore links in the way beyond the carousels. Now we left the carousels to a companion website, and you could see there is quite a bit of a interpretation of this particular statuette, but we can go on and on. Let's click on B and come back. And we need to, in this case, be registered, and you will be. And you could then explore If you're interested, A or B or C or D, you could spend virtually half a day exploring this notion. Let's go back. And we could see that in this statuette, if you click on it, the characteristics are from the Fertile Crescent, that is the Euphrates River, where Assyrian Babylon, while the previous one has none of these characteristics. So we know that the tendency toward representing beauty and fertility was not limited to one area or one culture. Next. And then there is little argument that this particular statue, which we can open, click, is an expression of human beauty, one of the probably most appreciated and perfect expression of the aesthetic perceptions of a particular sculptor. Click on this, and then of course we leave this toward the companion website, and we go below, down, we could see then all the links from A to Z to AF and C1. We could spend a lot of time exploring this. You may or may not be interested in that particular exploration. That's why we say that the carousels can be explored personally, reflecting your particular interest. Let's go back and let's continue. And here we see an ancient representation of love. Click on this and you can see it better, and click again. And this is then a representation of Cupid and Psyche. Psyche being mortal and Cupid being cured from his eroticism because he truly loves Psyche. So that he became from Eros to Cupid. And what's the difference? Let's go on to the next representation. Each image conveys feelings, and feelings are hard to express in words. They are better expressed by images. So let's click on this. And it is obvious that it is a picture of tenderness. He loves her, and the last thing he wants to do is to hurt her. That's different from lust. That's different from just naked eroticism. That's a full love. Let's go next. But desire, interest, love may be oriented towards same sex. Let's go on and open this. And Emperor Hadrian was in love with this young male, and this is what we today would call homosexuality, a complicated subject that we are going to explore independently. But the point is that different cultures accept the homosexuality in different levels, in different ways, and in different perspectives. Let's go on. Here is the ability to express feelings of pain, fear, panic, agony, all of which are part of the terminology a physician should know and a physician should recognize. And I'm not going to open this or to explore it. Suffice it to say that this was part of the discovery by Michelangelo, and promptly this very complicated, magnificent statue was saved in the courtyards of the Vatican. You may be interested or not. Let's move on. And many of the ancient people would recognize instantly this face. Faces are characteristic. They denote properties that are unique. In this case, this mortal human was deified. and was declared immortal for his achievements. Let's click on this. And who is he? Why should we know? Because most people that go to see a physician can ask him whether he took an oath to fulfill his ideals, the principles. Medicine arose together with ethics. This is then the Hippocratic Oath, and this is Aesculapius. Click on this. And obviously, Aesculapius is a complex ideal. If we go down to the links, we can explore, let's say, B. Here is the Aesculapius in different representation with his walking stick, making rounds in the hospital, and one single serpent, for there is only one truth and no wishy-washy, because Mercury, the head of the merchants and thieves, has a walking stick with wishy-washy. There is no truth, there is either or, and therefore there are two serpents in his caduceus. Caduceus. Let's move on to the next subject. You could see in the next that for the Romans, Aesculapius was very important. He appeared in all sorts of coinage. Let's click on this, and you could see then a single stick, a single serpent. Enlarge this, please. And let's go to, let's say, D, and we are going to see other coins. Each emperor wanted to be associated with the importance of medicine. I wish our current politicians understood that medicine is essential for life and to prevent its too early demise. Let's go back. Now, here is an active way of showing clusters of words because each illuminates the other, so that if you understand the cluster, you understand deeper and more properly each of the components. Let's click on this and we can enlarge it. And if we can click on this, then we're going to put it in motion. And you see that human and humus have something to do with earth, and we call it dirt, unfortunately. And humane has something to do with being human, but there is homicide, and there is homosexuality. And of course, there is homology and homily. And homunculus means a little dwarf, a mini human. And we can click on any of these words and find further explanations. So you could explore all of them, some of them, none of them. But if you understand the implications of this cluster, you understand what's being human much better than if you don't. Let's go back. And so here is a little bit reinforcement of the illuminated ideas in these images. Let's click on in these words. So this is, we touched upon then humus, human, beauty, love, tenderness, psyche, erotica, homosexuality, suffering and medicine. All of this we touched upon. I think all of it you comprehend and grasp, and I hope that you are now endowed with a better understanding. Let's go on to the next. And so let's click on this. We have reached then the end of this presentation. I presented my explorations, but you should follow your exploration by linking to a fully functional carousel where there are these active links that I showed you that I did not explore, that you may wish to explore, and go on and on and on, because they are virtually opportunistic and their number cannot be counted. So thank you for your attention, and I hope you visit our full carousels and future postings. And until then, please accept my best wishes.